Alright everyone, well, as you know, I've been very busy with a lot of stuff, mostly game reviews and so on and so forth, so might as well get one movie review in that I've obviously anticipated for this year, a sequel to the 2013 hit monster, or giant robot versus monster movie, Pacific Rim, Uprising. Yeah, I've been really looking forward to this one, and especially after the surprise hit, which seemed a little generic for the most part, but it was a big Colossus hit. I mean, the action scenes were great. You had some big actors like Elba. I don't know if I pronounced that name exactly 100% right, but yeah, he's a great actor. He's been in a lot of big hit films like the Thor movies, and yes, he was even in that crappy Ghost Rider 2 sequel, but let's not even go there. This one to me is always his biggest hit film, and the first one that is, and yeah, he gives that famous speech, "We will cancel the apocalypse." Great action. Monsters look great. The CG was great. I mean, it was just huge. And I kind of feel bad I didn't get to see it in IMAX, which I heard was definitely worth it. But I did watch it on Blu-ray and watch it on TV a lot, and it's still great and holds up very well. It's almost like man-made Transformers versus Godzilla almost. So, yeah. And it's funny how it all takes place mostly in seemingly Asian countries, which, like I said, seems a little generic how they have Asian characters in there and all that stuff. But, yeah, it's great. It's a monster hit. And I was looking forward to this one, which I didn't really expect a lot, especially after seeing the trailer. I didn't really know how this would hold up continuity-wise, if it would. And after hearing mixed reactions from critics, I kind of got what I expected a bit. I mean, the CG from the trailer looked a little downgraded, and it did a little bit. I do like the first half. It wasn't bad, you know. It's a sequel, and it acknowledges what happens in the first movie. It knows what it is. It's a little bit shorter, about 10-20 minutes shorter than the first one to be exact. You know, it acknowledges how the Earth is trying to rebuild after the monster's destroyed, and, you know, the Jaegers, that's what the giant man-made robot things are called, that they created to fight these things off, so it's like they meet their match. And, yeah, basically the whole cities and everything, they're scrapping all the metal and everything from the Jaegers because they figure they don't need them. But then again, there's this hidden army, which is still making the Jaegers and still preparing for more of these kaijus, and that's what the monsters are called. Obviously, it's a Japanese term, I assume. But otherwise, yeah, they're preparing, and they know another fight's going to be coming. You know, another war is going to be coming versus man versus monster, which it does at some point. But the build-up to it is pretty good. The first half is a lot of dialogue and some action and computer simulation and stuff, army camps and all that. Kind of the same as the first, but just not as memorable for the most part. But they know it's coming, and it builds up to it, and when you get to it, it doesn't feel as strong, you know? And, okay, I should get to the characters, too. Instead, you have, Elba, yeah, sorry, I mispronounced that name once again, but his character, it's his son this time, which they never even showed or mentioned in the first movie, but they do bring back that Asian character, you know, that he took, you know, his father took up for adoption, so basically she's his sister, or half-sister, or whatever. Not to spoil anything too major, there are a couple of character losses in the film, which I'm not going to really spoil. But, yeah, you have, of course, your, this young child actress, or teenage actress. She goes into the boot camp, so it's all prodigy Jaeger operators for the most part that are trying to learn. You have Scott Eastwood is basically the main character, and you have a few returning characters as well. You know, that nerd guy who's, you know, obsessed with the kaijus. You probably remember from Horrible Bosses. That other guy he was teaming up with, but not the black market seller, you know, the same guy who plays Hellboy, and yes, I'm well aware that it's going to get rebooted, which is kind of a shame. I would have much rather seen a third movie. I mean, it would have been worth the wait, but yeah, he doesn't come back in this movie for some reason. I'm not sure why, but otherwise, yeah, it's pretty steadily paced for the most part, and when you get to the action, they try to base, I do like the fact that they're trying to replace, you know, manned Jaegers with drone ones, you know, remote control ones, and it's kind of a clever concept, but just the way it works itself in with how the kaijus come back to start the war all over again, it's not exactly the most clever plot. I feel like it goes almost in Transformers territory, and I mean, it's not nearly that bad. It has a lot of the action, which almost does feel like it, but it still has a little more brain to it, at least. I mean, it's not mindless action. It does offer a lot, but it's just not as good as the first. It's just the concept and reason behind it, which I'm not going to give too much away. When it reveals itself, it's just not very strong, and you realize, yeah, it's just not as good. I like the whole ending sequence with the fight scenes are good, But like I said, it's a typical sequel. You have to know what to expect. Enjoy it for what it is. If you didn't like it, that's fine. I thought it was pretty decent, so take it for what it is. But it's just the fact that it's called Uprising. It really didn't have much of an uprising to it. You expect a lot more out of it for a sequel, but in the end, I really didn't. So I kind of got what I was expecting. So a decent sequel, but that's really about what it is. Not as good as the first, but that's what it is. So my final verdict is, yeah, just a plain cheater in modes up. For a film called Uprising, it really doesn't uprise a lot. So, until next time, keep watching.